Welcome to the first episode of our series on conflict resolution. I'm thrilled to have you with us as we embark on this journey together. Today, we're diving into something that makes many of us uncomfortable: conflict. We all experience conflict, whether it's with a colleague, a friend, or even within ourselves. But here's the twist: conflict doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, it can be the first step towards building better relationships and strong teams. So, what if I told you that the very thing that most of us dread can actually be a golden opportunity? Stick around because by the end of this episode, you might just start seeing conflict in a whole new light. Let's start by breaking down what conflict really is. At its core, conflict arises when there are differences in values, opinions, interests, or even personalities. These differences can cause tension, frustration, or even outright anger. But think about it for a moment. Conflict is simply a signal that something isn't aligning. It's not the conflict itself that's the problem, it's how we respond to it. Imagine this: you're working on a project with a team, and suddenly you find yourself in a disagreement with a colleague. You both have different ideas on how to approach the problem. This is a classic example of conflict. The natural reaction might be to avoid it, to give it just to keep the peace, or to dig your heels in and fight for your point of view. But what if, instead of seeing this as a negative situation, you viewed it as a chance to explore those differences and find a solution that is even better than what either of you could have originally imagined? Conflict doesn't have to be destructive, it can be constructive. It can be the very thing that pushes us to think outside the box, to challenge assumptions, and to come up with innovative solutions. Now, let's get real for a moment. Have you ever walked away from a heated argument feeling defeated, frustrated, or just plain misunderstood? It's a terrible feeling, right? The aftermath of conflict can leave us questioning ourselves, our relationships, and sometimes even our worth. But imagine this: what if you could take those intense emotions and turn them into a breakthrough? What if instead of feeling defeated, you walked away from a conflict feeling empowered, knowing that you have just navigated a difficult situation with grace, learned something new, and strengthened your relationship in the process? That's the power of effective conflict resolution. It's not about winning or losing. It's about finding a path forward that leaves everyone better off. And yes, that's possible. It starts with understanding that conflict at its core is an opportunity. It's a chance to bridge gaps, to connect on a deeper level, and to grow as individuals and as a team. Let me share a story that really illustrates this point. Picture this: a tech startup in its early days. The team is small but passionate, working around the clock to bring their new product to market. One day, during a critical meeting, two of the lead developers get into a heated argument. One insists on a particular feature that would make the product more user friendly, while the other focuses on a feature that would improve the product's performance. This disagreement escalates to the point where the entire team feels the tension. Now, at this point, it would be easy for the team leader to step in and make a decision, choosing one side over the other to quickly end the conflict. But instead, the leader encouraged both developers to present their ideas in detail, to explain the benefits and potential drawbacks of each approach. By doing this, the entire team got involved in the discussion, and then they ended up combining the best elements of both ideas. The result: not only did they create a more innovative product, but the team also grew stronger from the experience. They learned to appreciate each other's perspectives and saw firsthand how conflict when handled correctly, can lead to a better outcome than anyone initially imagined. So, what's the key takeaway here? Conflict isn't the enemy, it's an opportunity. It's a signal that something needs attention, a chance to learn, grow, and collaborate more effectively. The next time you find yourself in a conflict situation, whether it's at work, with a friend, or even internally, try to see it not as a barrier, but as a bridge to better understanding, stronger relationships, and ultimately better outcomes. Remember, it's not about avoiding conflict, it's about embracing it and using it as a tool for positive change. The power to turn conflict into something constructive is in your hands. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of our conflict resolution series. I hope you're starting to see conflict in a new light. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. In our next episode, we'll dive into the 5 essential steps to resolving conflict effectively. So you won't want to miss that. Until then, keep an open mind, embrace those challenges, and turn conflict into your greatest opportunity. Thank you.